Have you ever wondered, before dawn touches your window, has a sun already quietly risen inside your brain? In today's video, when the sun rises in the brain, the secret of hormones and dawn, we'll gently explore how cortisol, melatonin, and the delicate circadian rhythm rearrange your memory, energy, emotions, and even the quality of your remaining years. Not a dry medical lecture, but a soft, accessible scientific story, told especially for those who want to sleep more deeply, wake more brightly, and live more intentionally each day. If you feel you deserve kinder mornings, stay with Smart Sleep and hit subscribe to journey together for the long run. There is something very few of us were ever told clearly when we were young. Every morning is not just the sun rising outside the window. Long before that, in the quiet darkness, another dawn has already begun, silently inside the brain. That dawn is not loud, doesn't need an alarm, doesn't need a calendar reminder, but every day it quietly decides how we wake up, how we think, how we feel, and often quietly redraws the quality of the years we have left. At 45, 60, or 80, when we start to feel more clearly the limits of our strength, memory, sleep, when the body no longer tolerates everything the way it did at 20, then understanding this silent dawn in the brain is not some fancy scientific luxury, but a very practical and very gentle gift to ourselves. Hours before the first rays of sunlight, deep inside the brain, the hypothalamus, and a tiny cluster of cells called the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the master body clock, have already begun their calculations. It remembers our habits, remembers what time we went to bed last night, notes the light we were exposed to, those late nights staring at screens, the late meals, the extra drink before sleep. From that seemingly invisible data, it schedules the morning, when body temperature should rise a little, when cortisol should gently increase to wake up, blood pressure and alertness, when melatonin, the language of darkness, should quietly withdraw. All of this happens while outside is still dark, the room still silent, the person sleeping next to you still breathing steadily. So when we open our eyes feeling light and clear or strangely heavy and sluggish, it is not random at all. It is the result of a script that has already been arranged, a blueprint that we ourselves, through years of habits, have helped to write. What matters is this. In middle and older age, many people begin to accept fatigue as destiny, accept insomnia, tossing and turning, waking heavy-headed as something inevitably tied to getting old. But the science of circadian rhythms and morning hormones tells us something else. The body is not turning its back on us. It is honestly reflecting how we treat it, especially in that fragile intersection between night and dawn. The brain does not wait for the sun to appear before it begins its work. It prepares in advance. It constantly tries to protect us, even when we accidentally scramble its signals by staying up late, eating late, letting blue light overpower the dark, letting end-of-day worries drown out the call to rest. The image of a sunrise in the brain is therefore not just a pretty metaphor, it is biological fact. Cortisol is programmed to rise toward early morning, not to shock us, but just enough to wake us. Enough for the heart rate to nudge upward, enough for the blood vessels to stand ready. Melatonin does not vanish suddenly, but eases down gradually, making room for serotonin and neural activity that support wakefulness. Body temperature rises slowly, like a bed of coals being gently stirred, not jerked up. Each tiny detail, when in harmony, can help a 5-year-old step into the morning with clarity, A 70-year-old feel they still own their day. An 85-year-old still find a measure of calm in each sunrise, instead of merely pushing through one more day. When we understand that all this is scheduled in advance, we suddenly see that we are not powerless. We can negotiate with the dawn inside the brain, just bringing forward a little the time we turn off the lights, just softening the light before sleep so the darkness is deep enough for melatonin to speak, just giving ourselves a short pocket of quiet, a few soft breaths, a kind thought instead of more scrolling, more arguments, more worry. And we are sending the hypothalamus a very clear message. Tomorrow, please give me a gentler start. At any age, the body can hear that simple language, and the dawn in the brain will gradually adjust its timing simply because we have changed one small habit. For many people living in the U.S., life has once been very fast. Family responsibilities, finances, work, health have left behind many sleep-deprived nights, and hardly anyone had the chance to imagine they could still rewrite how they wake up. But modern science on the body clock is quietly telling us it's not too late. The brain is still capable of adapting. The neurons in the master clock still listen to the first light of morning, still adjust when we give them clearer signals. When we open the curtains a bit earlier, letting real light, even a grey sky, even just a few minutes on the balcony or by the window, touch our eyes, we are reminding the sun in the brain, this is daytime. Give me more alertness now, and let me feel sleepy at the right time tonight. When we stop extending the day with screens late into the night, we stop sending the false signal that it's still daytime. When we choose a relatively steady bedtime, our body, like a city, can learn when to turn lights on and off, when to run services, collect trash, repair lines on a fixed schedule, instead of being in constant emergency mode. The interesting part is this: the dawn in the brain is not only about waking up on time, it also touches memory, mood, and recovery. A stable circadian rhythm helps the hippocampus, where memories are stored, properly clean up and consolidate information during deep sleep. For older adults, this means every sufficient night of sleep and every correctly timed dawn is a vote cast for tomorrow's memory. For mental clarity in the years ahead, this is not advertising. This is what neuroscience is observing. Someone who regularly respects the light-dark rhythm tends to have a lower risk of cognitive decline than someone who lives chronically out of sync with their own body clock. Likewise, internal dawn affects mood. Appropriately timed cortisol, morning light, stable breathing patterns all encourage the release of neurotransmitters that give us more drive and less gloom. Something very few people tell you is, part of the anxiety and heaviness on waking is not always just your personality. Sometimes it's simply because the dawn inside and the dawn outside are no longer aligned. We draw the curtains shut, stay up late, let the inner clock drift. Then, each morning when we open our eyes, we feel like mere victims. But if tonight, just tonight, we start to observe, what time did I go to bed? How long was I on the screen? Did I meet real daylight this morning? Did I give my body 1 minute to take a deep breath before grabbing my phone? Just by noticing those details, we have already begun to reopen the dialogue with the dawn inside our brain. Especially for those who have walked a long road, raising children, taking care of others, working hard, sacrificing. The years from 45 onward can be a time to renegotiate with our own body and brain, instead of continuing to force them to adapt to excessive schedules. No dramatic turning points are needed, no slogans about changing your whole life. Only one decision. Give your inner sunrise a chance to operate as it was designed to. It sounds modest, but such small decisions are the ones sturdy enough to walk with us over the next 10 or 20 years. When we understand that every sunrise is a deliberate blueprint for how the rest of the day will be lived, we see that we do not just wake up to get through, but to choose the quality of the road ahead. We can choose to start the day in exhaustion, caffeine, haste, fuzzy memory, a heavy heart. Or, little by little, gently, we can adjust bedtime, morning light, and late-night thoughts so that tomorrow morning the body doesn't have to fight, only to continue its natural story. The sunrise in the brain does not belong to the young or the old, does not favor anyone. It is simply loyal to the signals we send it every day. And perhaps the most beautiful lesson is here. In this stage of life that seems full of loss, we still have a very private zone of freedom. How we treat our sleep, our light, the moment before we close our eyes, and the moment we first open them. If we treat those moments as where we consciously plant a little order, a little gentleness, a little respect for the brain that has served us for decades, then each sunrise after that is not just a new day, but a reminder that we are still participating, still choosing, still designing. And who knows, starting from tonight, in a quiet room, when we let the body rest at a more appropriate time, turn off the screen a bit earlier, smile at a small kind thing we did today, the sun in the brain will quietly adjust its schedule. And tomorrow morning, we will feel half a notch lighter. Changes like that are not loud, but for the rest of our journey, they may be the most precious, quiet gift we give ourselves. So, if the sun in the brain has already risen quietly before dawn, who is it that gently knocks? Calling each cell, each blood vessel, each thought to wake without startling us. Here, we meet a character often misunderstood: cortisol. For many years, cortisol has been labeled a villain, the stress hormone, culprit of fatigue, weight gain, high blood pressure, rapid aging. And it is true that when life pulls us into chronic stress, cortisol can be overused, released at the wrong times, in the wrong ways. But if we only see cortisol as bad, we miss a very gentle truth. In the morning, roughly between 5 and 7 a.m., cortisol is the most delicate alarm clock the body has designed just for us. It doesn't scream like a phone alarm, doesn't jolt like an urgent email, doesn't stab like late-night news. It simply rises just enough to wake up blood pressure, wake up heart rate, wake up the ability to focus, like a light hand on the shoulder saying, "It's time, let's begin a new day." Picture an ideal morning, not from an advertisement, but in your very real home. Outside, the sky is pale, not too bright. The room is quiet. You're still lying there, breathing slowly. Deep in the brain, the hypothalamus-pituitary-adrenal axis begins to work like an orchestra, long rehearsed. The hypothalamus sends signals. The pituitary responds. The adrenal glands start releasing cortisol. Cortisol levels rise, not to make you tremble, but to bring blood pressure up from the very low levels of the night to a safe range for standing. It prepares the muscles for the shift from lying to sitting, from resting to moving, so you don't feel faint or black out when you get out of bed. It also nudges blood sugar up slightly within physiological limits, so the brain has fuel for alertness without needing you to instantly gulp down a very strong coffee. This is the body's original design, an internal alarm, gentle yet effective. Only when we've lived out of sync with this rhythm for too long, chronic late nights, late meals, worrying until our eyes close, using coffee, alcohol, cigarettes to manipulate our mood. Does cortisol get dragged into working at the wrong times and intensities? It may rise high at night, keeping us sleepless. It may fail to rise enough in the morning, leaving us heavy-headed, clinging to caffeine as a lifeline. Then we blame cortisol, forgetting that we are the ones who change the schedule of this well-meaning alarm. For those between 45 and 90, understanding cortisol's role is not to create more fear, but to see that we still have the right to renegotiate with the body. At this age, we no longer run sprints like at 30, but we deeply need clear, steady, undizzy mornings to maintain independence, autonomy, memory, and dignity in daily life. And the interesting thing is, befriending morning cortisol is not some complicated therapy. It begins with respecting the time frame the body already chose for us. When cortisol naturally rises between 5 and 7 a.m., the body hopes we will wake in a relatively gentle context. Soft light, steady breathing, not thrown instantly into a storm of information. In youth, we might jump up, rush into email, arguments, news feeds, and the body could cope. But in midlife and older age, that is like throwing the brain and heart straight into a battlefield at the moment of waking. The biological alarm is turned into a siren. Day after day, cortisol wears the harsh mask we've put on it. Yet if we step out of bed one beat slower, give ourselves a few minutes sitting on the edge of the bed, feet on the floor, feeling gravity, letting blood vessels and heart rate catch up, cortisol will do exactly what it was meant to do. Support, not threaten. If we open the curtains so real light, whether pale blue sky or winter grey, reaches our eyes, the brain gets a clear message. This is morning, not midnight. Cortisol is allowed to play its awakening role. Melatonin is allowed to withdraw. Everything flows more gently. We also often forget that cortisol has a very clear day-night pattern. Highest in the early morning, gradually decreasing through the day, lowest at night so we can sleep. When that pattern is intact, it's a healthy sign. It's like the curve of the sun, rising, peaking, then lowering. When years of living against this pattern flatten that curve, morning and night cortisol no longer differ clearly. The body loses its sense of day and night. People feel tired all day, restless all night. So when we say, respect the 5-7 a.m. window, we're not only talking about wake-up time, we're talking about restoring an entire hormonal curve to its natural shape. You may be listening to this in a dark room, after decades of rushed mornings, the first coffee of the day as an indispensable crutch, countless worrying blood pressure readings, nights jolted awake by pounding heartbeats. You may think, at this age, what can I change? Yet cortisol science offers good news. This system can still relearn if we consistently send it coherent signals, not with harsh willpower, but with simple things. Say you choose a relatively stable wake time for yourself. It doesn't have to be very early, no need to chase some idealized image. It just needs not to drift wildly day to day. Tonight, you go to bed 15-30 minutes earlier than usual. You turn screens off a bit sooner, so the darkness is deep enough for melatonin to be called in. Tomorrow morning, when your body naturally stirs between 5 and 7, you allow yourself to wake gently, instead of repeatedly smothering that signal with the snooze button. You sit up, drink a little water, let in some daylight. So cortisol's partner is real morning light, not a screen. Day by day like that, the cortisol curve will begin to remember its original shape. And perhaps one of the kindest things we can do for the rest of our life is to lessen our absolute dependence on coffee as the only switch to flip on the day. Coffee is not the enemy. It can be a small pleasure, a warm ritual. But when we use coffee to cover up a neglected body clock, to mask exhaustion, to force ourselves onward after sleepless nights, we are silencing the body instead of listening. Respecting morning cortisol means giving the body the chance to wake itself. Then, if we like, enjoying coffee as a friend, not as oxygen. On a deeper level, seeing cortisol as a kind internal alarm helps us see ourselves differently. For years, we may have scolded ourselves as weak, unable to handle pressure. Old. That's why tired. In truth, the body has just been honestly reporting. Things have been overloaded for too long. When we begin to adjust sleep, light, daily rhythm, when we start treating that fragile crossover between night and morning more gently, cortisol can return to being an ally rather than a ghost. In the quiet dark of the room where you're listening to this, today has likely been long enough, full enough of worry and responsibility. You don't need to memorize all the terms, just keep one image. Somewhere in you there is a small bell, programmed to ring in the morning, not to rush you, but to lift you up. It is not against you. It tries to help you every day by preparing each awakening. When we answer it by giving ourselves more decent sleep, real darkness, a calmer morning, we're saying to the body, I understand now. From here on, we're on the same side. And that is the quiet lesson of this stage of life. Instead of chasing loud solutions and miraculous anti-aging promises, we start with the simplest thing we have ignored for years, our own natural rhythm. Tonight, before you sleep, you might gently ask, tomorrow, can I give my body the right to wake me in a kinder way? If the answer is yes, even with one very small change, you've already planted a seed. The rest, let the kind alarm within you handle. In that quiet, each coming morning will no longer be mere habit, but proof that you are still active in shaping how you live the years ahead. And if cortisol is the inner bell, lightly rousing us from within, then what from the outer world answers that bell, confirming to the brain, yes, this is truly morning now. And if we miss that signal, what quietly changes in our memory, our mood, our old age, as you lie in the gentle darkness of your room, eyelids still heavy, perhaps your heart is already beating steadily, your blood pressure already lifted a bit by cortisol, your muscles ready for the first movements of the day. But for the brain, one final piece of evidence is needed to complete the transition from night to day. Light, not the harsh light of a phone screen, but real light from the sky, passing through the window, touching the retina. On our retina are special cells not only for seeing in the usual sense, but for telling time. These cells send signals to that small cluster deep in the brain, the suprachiasmatic nucleus, the center of the body clock. When morning light reaches it, like a confirmation letter delivered, this nucleus sends out a clear order. Lower melatonin, gradually raise wakefulness. The new day begins. Melatonin, which rose with the coming darkness to lull the body into sleep, is now gently invited to step back. Not harshly, not abruptly, but slowly. Like an audience member standing up and leaving once the performance is complete, the body understands, now it is day, time for other systems to take the stage. What's interesting is that this process is entirely modest. It happens in the few minutes you draw the curtains, open a door, step out on the porch, or simply sit by the window to let the morning light. Whether in a quiet suburban street, a calm city block, or a pale winter sky, touch your eyes. No need to stare at the sun, no need for harsh disciplines. Just let light be there. For those between 45 and 90, this small step carries far more weight than we used to think. With age, our eyes do not only weaken for reading fine print, their ability to collect light for the body clock also diminishes. The lens, yellows, clouds, morning blue light, the strongest signal for anchoring circadian rhythm, has a harder time getting in. That means, when we were young, a little light was enough. When older, we must be a bit more deliberate, so the brain receives a clear message. This is morning now. If not, the body can become confused. Melatonin may not fully switch off. Cortisol may not align correctly, and we step into the day with a half and half feeling. No longer asleep, not truly awake. Science calls this light-induced suppression of melatonin, which sounds very technical, but its essence is gentle. Light does not fight darkness. It simply asks darkness to leave on time. It doesn't deny the importance of night, it protects it by keeping the boundary between night and day clear. When we wake in a darkened room, curtains drawn tight, turning on only a bright phone screen close to our face, the brain gets a mixed signal. The master clock receives some light, but it's intense bluish light, paired with messages, news, and demanding words. Melatonin is cut off abruptly, not smoothly. Cortisol pairs with pressure instead of with natural daylight. But when we give ourselves and our brain 5 to 10 minutes of morning light in peace, the story is different. The suprachiasmatic nucleus hears a soft melody. This is real day, not artificial day from a screen. It tunes the whole body accordingly. You can imagine a simple ritual, easy to do in any home in America, whether an apartment in the city, a suburban house, or a room in assisted living. After waking, instead of lingering only in the warm glow of a bedside lamp, you gently open the curtains, a window, or, if the weather allows, step onto the porch for a few minutes. You don't need to do anything grand, just open your eyes, unshielded, letting your gaze rest at a distance, letting even mild light soak in. For many, this might be a moment of seeing still trees, quiet rooftops, a thin veil of snow, or a clear sky. For the brain, it's the signal, all right, switch to day mode. Subtly, this ritual is not a flimsy internet hack, but backed by solid knowledge of neurobiology and endocrinology. Morning light at the right time helps synchronize the body clock with the environment. Once the master clock is set by light, it sends timing cues to smaller clocks in the liver, heart, muscles, pancreas, heart rate, blood pressure, metabolic rhythms, blood sugar patterns, secretion of other hormones, all become more regular. A body with clear rhythms finds it easier to feel sleepy at an appropriate hour, to feel hungry at appropriate times, to crave less sugar at night, to have fewer crushing midday slumps. For older adults, these rhythms quietly shape each day's quality. Fewer dizzy spells, fewer falls, less confusion, less sense that every day feels off. And from a deeply human angle, morning light is also a gentle tranquilizer for the mood. Many studies show that exposure to natural morning light eases seasonal depression, adjusts serotonin dynamics, and brings emotional steadiness, especially important for older adults prone to loneliness, low activity, and rarely going out. Morning light, scientifically, is a signal to the SCN. In daily life, It is a reminder the world is still open, not closed within four walls. You are still part of it. When you step out to breathe crisp air, hear the faint sound of a passing car or distant bird, or simply feel the air on your skin, your brain receives more than light. It receives a subtle message that you are still connected. Sadly, many of us have turned this simple ritual into a luxury. In the morning, the first thing our eyes meet is not daylight, but a screen with messages, news, tasks. The SEN still receives light, but it is tied to content that activates vigilance. Night hasn't fully withdrawn. Day has been thrust into tension. For the young, the body may compensate. For those at 50, 70, 85, the price is paid in unstable heart rhythms, poor sleep, faster memory decline. So, understanding this dimming of darkness journey is not so we fear darkness, nor to obsess over control. It's so we know we can reclaim a bit of agency in an area that seems uncontrollable. Time. We cannot hold on to youth, but we can help our brain not confuse day and night. We cannot stop the clock, but we can give it clearer signals instead of forcing it to guess between fake and real light. Tonight, as you lie down, hearing these words, you may remember old mornings, opening the door, light flooding the kitchen, the kettle whistling, a voice in the house calling someone's name. Now the house may be quieter, children grown, others gone, or you may be in a completely new place, but the ritual of greeting the day with light can still remain in your own small, simple way. Tomorrow, if health allows, try 3 things. Wake with your body's natural stirring instead of forcing yourself to sleep through every signal. Open the curtains to welcome the first light, and for a few minutes, resist reaching straight for your phone. Let your brain, eyes, skin, breath meet the light without interruption. That is not only good sleep hygiene, it is a quiet, firm statement. I still have the right to choose how I enter my day. At any age, that right remains. Light in the eyes, signal to the brain. Darkness gently withdrawn. All this may sound like a complex biological map, but really, we only need to protect a few simple things. Nights that are dark enough, mornings that are bright enough, a brief moment not hijacked by news and panic, so the internal clock can do what it was born to do. And what self-development lesson flows beneath this gentle stream? Perhaps this: the things that shape us are not always big decisions, but small signals repeated every day. The morning light we do or don't choose to receive is quietly writing the version of us in the coming years. Clear or foggy, calm or shaky, sleeping well or restless. Tonight, before you close your eyes, you might softly ask, tomorrow, can I let my eyes meet the morning light as a gift? Instead of diving straight into the glare of a screen, if the answer is yes, even once, then you've begun to bend aging in a direction that's clearer and kinder to yourself. The rest, let your body and brain, with their built-in wisdom, receive that light and quietly do their part. You just need to agree to open the curtain. We've spoken about light as a gentle confirmation of morning. What about the night? When daylight fades, who steps forward to tell the whole body, that's enough, let's close this day? And is that character being misunderstood, misused, and harmed by us? Melatonin often appears in ads and on labels as a golden key to sleep. Can't sleep, take it. Hard to sleep, take more. jet lag. Take some. Shallow sleep. Increase the dose. Gradually, in many minds, melatonin is reduced to natural sleeping pills. But for the body, melatonin has never been just a pill or a switch. Melatonin is the language of darkness, the way night speaks to the brain, and the brain speaks to every organ: liver, heart, gut, immune system. As evening darkens and blue light wanes, the retina sends word to the master clock that night is coming. The clock then signals the pineal gland to release melatonin. Melatonin levels rise slowly, not abruptly, like a curtain being drawn with care, informing each cell that it is time to slow down, repair, clean out, and prioritize tasks that can only be done in quiet. We do not sleep only because of melatonin, but without melatonin, it is hard for sleep to arrive on time. Here is the nuance. Melatonin does not knock the brain out like strong sedatives. It doesn't knock us down, nor can it guarantee good sleep if the day has been overstrung, the mind unsoftened, the lights still blazing. Its core role is to tell the body, now is night. It synchronizes the master clock with countless peripheral clocks. The liver begins detox and repair cycles. The gut adjusts motility and microbiome rhythms. The heart and vessels ease out of high-intensity load. The immune system ramps certain surveillance and repair work. When melatonin rises on schedule, the system runs like a smart city. Streetlights soften, repair crews start, trash collection moves, neighborhoods calm down. When melatonin is blocked or scrambled, that city goes off-beat. Loud music at midnight, repairs unfinished, trash uncollected, while dawn is already approaching. The quality of this silent night shift is increasingly crucial. At this stage, the liver, heart, vessels, brain, and immune system no longer have surplus capacity to waste. They need clear signals about when to rest and when to fix. Melatonin is one of those signals. It is no miracle, but it is the opening cue for the whole night orchestra. If we break the rhythm, musicians may still play, but in chaos. The most common way we break it is through a very modern habit: bright screens at night. Strong blue light from phones, tablets, TVs, close to the eyes, especially right up until the time we say we want to sleep, prevents the retina from distinguishing day from night. The master clock misreads, seems like it's still daytime, and delays the melatonin signal. The result, we don't feel sleepy at the biological hour, even though the body is tired. We toss and turn, grab the phone again, read more news, watch more videos, shredding the darkness signal even further. Some then turn to melatonin pills as a shortcut, ingesting it to force the body to accept it is time to sleep. But if the screens stay on, if the mind stays overstimulated, the pill is only a small voice in a carnival. This does not mean supplemental melatonin is bad. It can be helpful in specific cases: jet lag, shift work, or under a doctor's guidance. But what this story wants to whisper to you, lying there in a darkened room, is, before thinking about adding melatonin from outside, pay attention to the melatonin inside you. Give it a chance to speak. Each time you decide to turn screens off 30 minutes earlier, dim harsh lights, let the space darken gently, you are telling the body, night is here. You may begin. Each time you choose not to feed your mind shocking news right before bed, but instead choose soft music, a soothing story, a few slow breaths, you are clearing the path for the language of darkness. Science shows a regular melatonin rhythm is tightly linked to memory and brain health. At night, When melatonin rises on time, deep sleep is established. Unnecessary neural connections are pruned, important memories reinforced, waste products like beta amyloid cleared by the brain's glymphatic system. For older adults, this is a quiet defensive wall against cognitive decline. No one can promise that good sleep erases all risk of dementia, but disrupting melatonin, staying up late in blue light, years of fractured sleep, almost certainly erodes the brain's resilience. Melatonin here is not a magical youth elixir. It is part of the brain's nighttime sanitation system. Respecting it simply means don't make your own brain's job harder. Not only memory, but the heart and emotions are faithful listeners to the language of darkness. If melatonin is delayed or reduced by late light, the body clock shifts. Nighttime blood pressure doesn't drop enough. Heart rate doesn't relax on cue. Over time, risks of hypertension, arrhythmias, coronary disease rise. Emotional stability also frays. Those who stay up late in strong light are more prone to anxiety, depression, irritability, less patient, with less resilience to daily stresses. In our 50 seconds, 60 seconds, 70 seconds, we often blame old age for being hard to please, when part of the story is simply this: our nights are no longer truly night, and melatonin no longer has the chance to do what it was meant to do. The beautiful thing is, to restore melatonin to its true role, we don't need to force ourselves into harsh rules. We don't need to turn everything off at 7 p.m. or live like in a monastery. We just need a few gestures of respect. For example, choosing a fixed dim the lights time each evening, about 45 to 60 minutes before sleep. In that window, we can turn off some overhead lights, use warmer light, avoid staring directly into bright screens. If we need to use the phone, we keep it further away, lower the brightness. We can spend that time doing gentle things, folding clothes, listening to a peaceful story, saying a few kind words to loved ones, or simply sitting quietly with a warm drink. Repeated every night, the master clock learns, when the space settles like this, that is when night truly begins. Melatonin will start its story more on time. For viewers in the US, work schedules, family habits, time zones, long winter nights with early dusk, long summer days with late sunsets can make the light-dark rhythm more complicated. But precisely because of that, building a personal darkness ritual becomes even more important. It is not a law. It is a private interval where you allow yourself not to answer anyone, not to absorb more information, not to shoulder more weight. It is the space for melatonin, the hormone translator of the night, to whisper to every cell that it is time to let go. If you've tried many things to improve your sleep, sleep aids, white noise, changing pillows, changing mattresses, but still feel that something inside you is out of sync, the missing piece may well be the harmony between light, darkness, and melatonin. We tend to search for loud, fast solutions, while the body prefers things that are small and steady. If tonight you turn off your screens a bit earlier than usual, letting darkness arrive without being startled, you've already written a very different sentence into your biological diary. And at a deeper layer of self-development, respecting melatonin is like relearning how to respect healthy limits. For decades, you may have lived for many others. Your children, your work, your responsibilities, your duties. Night became the only time you could take revenge on time, clinging to a few extra hours for yourself by refusing to turn off the lights, refusing to get offline, even when your body was exhausted. That habit is understandable, but it is also how we unknowingly steal our own recovery. When you begin giving melatonin the chance to function properly, you are in fact giving yourself the right to rest without guilt. Tonight, before bed, you might gently ask yourself, can I let darkness do its job? Can I turn down some of the noise and light so my body understands it is truly allowed to rest? If the answer is yes, even if you only try for a few nights, observe kindly, without judgment. You may not sleep well immediately, but like a language that hasn't been spoken for a long time, melatonin and the body clock simply need time to remember. The more patient you are, the more your body will believe that this time you mean it. When we understand that melatonin is not a miracle packaged in a pill, but the subtle voice of darkness within the body, we become less impatient, less desperate for shortcuts, and start creating the conditions for our circadian rhythm to heal itself. This is not a noisy journey. It happens in rooms where the lights go low a bit earlier, in the moment you set your phone down, in the longer exhale before pulling up the blanket, in the feeling of today is enough. And perhaps the deepest gift of this stage of life is realizing maturity is not only about bracing to endure more, but also about being grown enough to say to yourself, from now on, I will not betray my night. From that small decision, each sleep gradually becomes a kind meeting between you and the body that has carried you all these years. In that quiet, melatonin will do what it was made to do. Gently dim the noise of the day, letting you drift into sleep as if returning to a safe place. If melatonin is the language of darkness, then what happens to our memory when dawn arrives on cue, when the sun in the brain is not pulled off course by irregular habits? Can waking up steadily, at a consistent time, truly help the important things in our life stay with us longer? Let me tell you, slowly, about the hippocampus, a small region in the brain, deep inside, that acts as the quiet librarian of our memory life. Each day, as you talk, read the news, recall a phone number, look at loved ones' faces, tuck away details you want to keep, the hippocampus helps temporarily record them, organize them, label them, then during sleep gradually sends them to long-term storage in other cortical areas. If your whole life were a library, the hippocampus would be the intake desk where every memory passes through before being shelved. At 20, that intake desk is still quick, more tolerant of chaos. But entering 50, 60, 70, the pressure on this little librarian grows. Information floods in, stress drags on, sleep thins out, and especially the day-night rhythm becomes blurred. When the sun in the brain no longer rises and sets on time, meaning the body clock is out of sync, we don't sleep deeply. We wake at odd hours. Light and dark are jumbled. The hippocampus has to work in unpleasant conditions, disturbed when it needs quiet, groggy when it needs clarity. Gradually, we start forgetting little things, forgetting the name of someone we just met, forgetting what we came into a room to get, getting used to the feeling of my head is foggy. But the hopeful point is this. Part of that is not just a sign of aging, but the trace of a circadian rhythm that can be fine-tuned when our mornings become stable. When the sun in the brain rises consistently, that not only helps us wake more easily, but also tells the hippocampus, you have a clear schedule. Night is for sorting, morning is for use. In the early hours of the day, after an orderly night's sleep, what the hippocampus processed is better integrated into long-term memory. We open our eyes with the sense, right, I understand yesterday. I remember it. That is when the system works in harmony. Sleep science shows that at night, especially during deep sleep and REM sleep. The brain replays patterns of neural activity from the day, like rewinding film, to decide what to keep and what to erase. This process relies heavily on two things: sleep quality and the light-dark cycle. If we sleep late, fitfully, or wake at a different time every day, exposing ourselves to chaotic light, the body clock struggles to clearly mark when to process and when to perform. The hippocampus is like a librarian forced into endless night shifts, too tired to review files carefully. The result: what should be kept falls away. What doesn't matter stays. Petty emotions take up space. Important matters blur. Now, imagine your day set to a different rhythm. You don't have to be perfect or live like a lab experiment, just relatively steady. Evenings gently darken, giving melatonin its proper cue. Night gives the brain the chance to pass through its sleep stages. Next morning you wake around the same time, open the curtains or step into the light. You are not jolted by a chaotic alarm, nor do you repeatedly drown the inner sunrise with endless snoozes until you feel sluggish. Instead, you allow the sun in the brain to finish its role. Raise cortisol to a moderate level, withdraw melatonin, align heart rate, blood pressure, and body temperature with the outdoor light. Within such a rhythmic background, the hippocampus lives in a less surprising world. It knows every night there is time to tidy, every morning there is a handover. It is not forced to sort memories while also handling stress and enduring blue light blasted into your eyes at midnight. Over time, such a nervous system keeps its sharpness longer. People feel less foggy, less like days slip by without recall of what they did. For those over 50, this is no luxury. It is utterly practical. Preserving memory means preserving independence, preserving your own story, preserving the names of those you love. In many cultures, as soon as forgetfulness appears, we rush to brain boosters. Pills, special foods, memory games, apps. There is nothing wrong with those tools if they are used properly, but often we ignore what is right within reach and free. The internal dawn. A punctual body clock is a continuous, gentle, deep support for the brain. It doesn't come from a bottle, but from how we treat light and dark. You may ask, if I've slept poorly for many years, is it too late? The answer: neurons still retain adaptability at many ages, not by magic, but by steady change. When you choose a fairly fixed wake time, weekdays and weekends alike, when you let morning light touch your eyes, when you don't force yourself to sleep in till noon in thick darkness, you are sending the brain a clear message. This is day, that is night. A boundary returns. The hippocampus, highly sensitive to circadian rhythm, will gradually respond. Picture yourself at 60 or 75. In the morning, stepping out onto the threshold with a warm glass of water, without checking your phone first. Thin light spreads over trees, pavement, rooftops. Nothing dramatic, but the brain notes. This house, this street, this hour. Day after day, those scenes become anchors for memory. When morning light is stable, the landmarks of the day are stable, helping the brain organize new memories. A call with grandchildren, a doctor's appointment, a kind remark from your partner, the smell of coffee, the bark of a dog at the gate. They don't dissolve into confusion. They have a place. Conversely, with erratic routines, sleeping at 11 one night, 2 the next, watching shows until 3, sleeping in, then rising very early another day. lights irregular, meals at random. The hippocampus is like a librarian, shelving books in a room where lights are constantly flicked on and off. Doors and shelves are moved. For a while, work somehow gets done. But over the years, overload shows up in the things we truly wanted to remember slipping away. So when we say tune your internal dawn, it is not an invitation to live ascetically, but to live with rhythm. That rhythm does not strip your freedom, it gives freedom back to your memory. So each day is not just dragging through another 24 hours, but becomes slices with shape and meaning. You don't have to remember everything, but what needs to remain faces of loved ones, important appointments, small joys, tasks that matter has a sturdier root. The interesting twist is, instead of only trusting brain supplements, you can use science as a flashlight on your daily habits. Small but consistent changes. Going to bed within a window of real darkness, not with a screen pressed to your face until the last second. Waking at a relatively fixed time, letting natural light in, giving yourself a few breaths before plunging into tasks. These create the best environment for the hippocampus to work wisely. It's like giving the librarian enough proper light at the right time, enough quiet where needed, enough schedule so they don't live on permanent night shift. Tonight, as you lie listening, you may recall recent moments that stung. Forgetting someone's name, misplacing your keys, blanking on a detail your grandchild just shared. That feeling easily triggers the fear. Am I declining too fast? That fear is real and deserves to be heard. But alongside the worry, you can gently give yourself one small task that doesn't demand strength. In the coming days, try to keep your wake time steadier. Try to walk to the window or door so morning light reaches your eyes in peace. See it as a gift to the memory librarian inside. If each morning you quietly say, "Today I gift my brain a clear sunrise," then, over time, the haziness may not vanish, but its sway will change. Even if memory naturally frays with age, you will know you have stood on your body's side, not against it. You have made conditions as kind as possible for the hippocampus and for the sun in the brain to operate in your favor. And perhaps the discrete lesson is exactly this. Self-development at this stage is no longer about conquering more, but about adjusting small rhythms to protect what is most precious: memory, presence, the ability to recognize those you love, to remember who you are. The internal dawn, if respected, is a simple yet profound secret that lets you keep meeting yourself clearly each new day. Before sleep tonight, you might softly ask, "Tomorrow, do I want the sun in my brain to rise in chaos, or in a sky that is just a bit more orderly?" Only you can choose that answer, and from those small choices, your memory will know how to stay longer. If the sun in the brain can help our memories stay longer, what happens when the whole body follows a shared morning rhythm? Can we imagine ourselves not as a single ticking clock, but as a whole orchestra, where each hormone is an instrument needing to be tuned on time? Gently imagine your body as a great hall where each day's concert begins, not when the alarm rings, but when the first notes sound in silence. There, cortisol is the opening horn, lifting alertness. Serotonin is the soft string line that keeps mood bright and lays a base for calm. Body temperature is the warming base, rising slowly to ready muscles and joints. Blood pressure and heart rate are the steady beat, not so fast we're breathless, not so low we sway. Blood sugar is just enough fuel, like energy for the musicians. Not so little we collapse, not so much it becomes chaos. All of this, if timed correctly, becomes a gentle, complete morning score that doesn't need spectacle, yet makes us feel, yes, Today, I can stand steady. Biologically, this is more than a metaphor. Every system, endocrine, cardiovascular, digestive, immune, nervous, has its own small clock. But all depend on the master clock in the brain and on the light-dark rhythm. When at night we let darkness speak on time, melatonin appears, and the body understands its rest hour. When morning light touches our eyes, cortisol rises, serotonin is engaged, temperature climbs, blood pressure adjusts. That cascade is a signal to liver, pancreas, gut, heart, lungs. New day, take your positions. If that rhythm is regular, no organ has to guess. It knows when it digests best, when it repairs, when to secrete, when to be still. But if we eat a large meal at 10 or 11 p.m., drink several strong drinks before bed, curl up with a glowing screen past midnight, then try to sleep in deep darkness, wake late, skip breakfast, and use coffee instead of food. Imagine what happens in the orchestra. The master clock is fooled by blue light, melatonin is delayed, repair time is cut short. The liver, ready for its night shift detox, must keep processing late food and alcohol. The pancreas has to chase unstable blood sugar. The gut's movement is thrown off. The heart never gets a clear, reduced load phase. Next morning, cortisol is no longer a graceful opening horn. It may surge in a body not yet recovered, making the heart pound, the head swim, anxiety simmer. Serotonin lacks a proper foundation. Morning mood skews grey, heavy, easily burdened. In our 20 seconds and 30 seconds, we can live this way for years and think we handle it. But at 45, 55, 70, each time the orchestra goes off key is a tiny scratch in the durability of each organ. It may start as a few heavy-headed mornings, a few rough nights. Then it becomes higher blood pressure, disordered cholesterol, more difficult glucose control, less agile memory, moods more fragile. We blame age, while a significant part comes from an inner orchestra, no longer conducted by a clear rhythm. The good news, like any professional orchestra, the body remembers the original score. It remembers what it's like to have an opening, a climax, a winding down, a rest. We don't have to fix every instrument with dozens of supplements if that's not yet necessary. We can start by inviting the conductor back by restoring the light-dark cycle, the sleep-wake cycle, the eat-rest cycle. When the common rhythm is respected, each organ gradually gets its chance to rebalance. Imagine an ideal day, not on a glossy health magazine cover, but in your ordinary home in America, with a realistic schedule. In the evening, instead of letting screens lead you on until your eyes burn, you dim the lights a bit earlier. Choose a roughly consistent bedtime. At night, your body has a real chance to enter deep sleep long enough for the immune system to work, the liver to detox, the heart to slow, the brain to sort memories. In the morning, you wake at around the same time so the sun in the brain doesn't have to guess. You open the curtains and let real light mark the new movement. You drink water, eat something small rather than only coffee, so your blood sugar doesn't drop into emptiness. You don't have to do a lot or be elaborate. These choices are simply applause at the right time for each inner instrument. Scientifically, a healthy morning cortisol curve helps raise blood pressure safely. Serotonin boosted in the context of early light and gentle movement stabilizes mood, reducing depressive feelings. A smooth rise in body temperature helps metabolic enzymes function better. Liver, pancreas, and gut clocks aligned with a regular breakfast improve control of blood sugar and lipids. Sufficient, well-timed sleep at night helps the immune system distinguish when to patrol and when to rest, reducing chronic, low-grade inflammation. None of this happens overnight, but accumulates day by day, like an orchestra rehearsing into better harmony. Conversely, late heavy meals force insulin to work when the body wants rest. Blood sugar swings at night, and the liver focuses on food and alcohol instead of cell repair. Evening alcohol may make you drowsy faster but breaks deep sleep. So in the morning, cortisol must kick harder to haul you up. The heart gets yanked, the head feels heavy. Anxiety comes easier. Late night blue light delays melatonin, pushing back the entire repair schedule. Taken together, it's a score where each instrument comes in at a different time. No one listens. Before long, the audience, our heart, brain, liver, memory, emotions, grows tired. So when we say respecting the common rhythm means treating each organ kindly, it is very concrete. It is not a vague slogan. It is you thinking of your liver when reaching for another late meal. Thinking of your heart when stretching another all-nighter. Thinking of your brain when wanting to scroll 40 more minutes before bed. Thinking of your gut when skipping breakfast and fiber. It is recognizing that each choice either helps the orchestra keep time or forces them off beat. For those aged 45-90, self-development is often no longer about big goals, but about seeing how small things tie into your future. You don't have to be perfect for the orchestra to play better. You only need fewer rhythm shocks. If you've often eaten very late, you might try shifting that meal earlier by an hour. If you drink every night, you might start inserting alcohol-free nights and watch your sleep. If your sleep schedule is wild, you might choose a reasonably fixed bedtime, even if you don't fall asleep right away so your body understands. This is when darkness begins. Each such gesture is you raising your hand to the conductor. Let's go back to the original piece. In the dark room where you lie listening to these slowed down words, you may think of your body as an old friend, one who has worked non-stop for decades, rarely thanked, only criticized when in pain, tired, or unwell. Seeing the body as an orchestra is how we relearn kindness to ourselves, understanding that if we keep demanding they play without rest, change the piece without warning, force the drums into rock at 2 a.m., and then complain that the strings are shaking, that is not their fault. The gentle hidden lesson here is this: respecting circadian rhythm is not only for health, it is an ethical choice toward your own life. It is how you say to your heart, you are allowed to rest at night. To your liver, I won't keep you on permanent night shift for mindless late meals. To your brain, I won't throw more light and news at you exactly when you need dark. To your gut, it'll give you a consistent meal time so you don't have to guess. From that perspective, each organ stops being a machine to be used up and becomes a musician with you, creating the fullest possible remaining days. Tonight, before closing your eyes, you might gently ask, in this body orchestra, have I let the conductor work, or is each player doing their own thing? No need to blame yourself. No need to panic. And if you see that you haven't given your body a real rhythm for a long time, you can pick one small change for tomorrow. Sleep a bit earlier, make dinner lighter, reduce late light exposure, keep wake time more consistent. These choices may seem tiny for one night, but over the next 5, 10, 15 years, they may be the reason you are still clear enough to tell your life story coherently, still strong enough to step out and greet the morning light on your own, and perhaps understanding yourself as an orchestra, not an endlessly durable machine, is itself a beautiful sign of maturity at this age. Lighter, yet deeper, less rushed to prove, yet more respectful of yourself. In the slowness of this night, I hope you can feel, from tomorrow if you wish, the morning score inside your body can still be rewritten into greater harmony. You just need to be the first to stand up and be a kind audience for your own orchestra. If the body is an orchestra gradually rediscovering its harmony, then who plays the underlying melody for our emotions each morning? And what happens if we let early light touch us like a small greeting instead of sealing every window against the world? There is a very quiet truth, rarely told in a gentle voice. Our morning mood is not entirely about personality, nor only the sum of accumulated worries. It also mirrors how we cross the boundary between night and day, especially at 45, 60, or 80. When losses, changes, empty spaces at home, at work, in health, become clearer. Our mood is more fragile, but among all the things we cannot control, there remains a small area we hold: how we meet dawn. When soft morning light touches the retina, not only does the body clock receive its signal, not only do cortisol and melatonin adjust, but another quiet character begins to speak: serotonin. Serotonin is one of the key neurotransmitters, helping us feel calm, steady, less shaken. It doesn't create loud excitement. It's more like laying a smooth base coat for our mood, so that during the day, unexpected events don't shatter us so easily. In the morning, natural light, especially the gentle blue rich light from the sky, stimulates photosensitive cells in the eye, sending signals to various brain regions, including those involved in regulating serotonin. When this happens regularly, day after day, the brain is reminded. This is when we open up, stabilize, stand up without too much weight. Conversely, when we keep curtains shut, lie in thick darkness until forced to rise, or let the first light of the day be the harsh blue of the phone filled with urgent content, the brain has no soft transition. Serotonin doesn't get its kind good morning. The nervous system is yanked straight from silence into high alert. For older adults in the US, this matters even more. Many live alone, with children and grandchildren far away. Daily routines are no longer anchored by work hours, leading to late nights, late rising, more time indoors under lamps than under the sky. Long winters bring late sunrise and cold that discourages going outside. Curtains stay closed. The world shrinks into a few rooms, one chair, one screen. Gradually, the body begins to blur day and night. A heavy, vague sadness. Lack of drive appears and is easily labeled. I'm old, that's why. I'm weak, that's why. While part of it is the story of light and serotonin. What no one sells you, but science says clearly, is this: just 5 to 10 minutes of morning light, if kept consistent, can become a kind of free therapy for mood. Not a replacement for proper treatment in major depression, but a strong foundational support, especially for quiet, lingering sadness and grey days with no clear cause. Correctly timed morning light stabilizes the body clock, makes daily hormone rhythms more predictable. A body that knows when to be awake and when to rest is less prone to sudden mood crashes. Imagine a very simple morning. You wake not too late. Still within the window, your body tends to signal. You don't explode the day open by checking the news immediately. Instead, you walk to the window and draw the curtains. The sky may be blue, cloudy, or a pale winter silver. It's all right. What matters is that your eyes meet the sky, not only a screen. If weather and health allow, you open the door, Step onto the porch, yard, balcony, or simply stand at the open window and breathe. No need to jog, no heavy exercise. Just let light pour in, touch your skin, slip into your eyes, gently marking. A new day begins, and I am still here. In those few minutes, serotonin has work to do. It does not arrive with fireworks, but with the sense, this isn't bad. I can get through today. Repeating this ritual gives your mood a foothold instead of leaving it entirely to chance. Because if we don't consciously create a kind way to open the day, the doorman for our mood is easily handed over to email. Bad news, arguments, financial worries, health scares, political headlines, war. Those are heavy for anyone. For older adults, they even more easily drive the brain into prolonged vigilance, where serotonin struggles to maintain calm. Of course, depression or anxiety is not simply caused by lack of light. And when it is illness, it deserves serious attention from doctors, therapists, and proper medication. What we are sharing tonight is not the naive promise, go into the sun and you'll be fine, but a gentle suggestion before concluding that your mood is entirely fate. Ask whether you have given your body the basics. Among them, dawn is one of the natural medicines few make use of, because it has no advertising, no packaging, no pharmacy shelf. There is long-standing research and clinical experience showing that morning light therapy, especially for seasonal affective disorder, can sustainably improve mood. But you don't have to buy a light box to start. If your home has a window to the sky, a small porch, a bit of sidewalk out front, a chair near a window, that is already your own therapy room. You only need the intention. Each morning I'll give my mood a chance, instead of leaving it entirely to the quality of last night's sleep and the first headline you see. At 45-90, we know too well how mood can drag us. A heavy morning can slow the whole day, make us avoid calling our children, avoid leaving the house, avoid others, sink deeper into past regrets, mistakes, losses. Over time, we start believing this is our true self. But sometimes that self is just a version missing light, missing rhythm, missing a small hand to pull us up at the right time. You might recall the rare days you woke slightly earlier than usual and happened to see the sky pink, hear birds, watch light sliding over rooftops. In those moments, though nothing major changed, did a thin strand of ease appear. That was not random. That was when the body clock, serotonin, cortisol, melatonin, heart rate, breathing, all happened to align in a naturally harmonious way. So the self-development lesson behind 10 minutes of early light is not a get-rich trick, not lofty philosophy, but a very down-to-earth reminder. We can choose who taps the first beat for our mood. We can hand that right to the noisy world, or keep it by using a small ritual. Tonight, listening in softened light, you may still carry some clouds within. Health, money, family, questions about the future. Those do not vanish just because we see dawn. But if tomorrow you give yourself 10 minutes to meet the new day gently, you are sending yourself a different message. I am not leaving my mood entirely to chance. I create a small anchor early. From that anchor, when hard things come, you have one more layer of buffer. At this age, self-development is no longer about running faster than others, but about understanding yourself, your body, your mind, and treating them with the respect you may never have had time to give. One such respectful act, small yet deep, is to stop letting the new day always begin in darkness and the blare of alarms. Let it begin, at least sometimes, with soft light and a breath that says, I am still here, and I can choose how to step into today. Before closing your eyes, you might quietly ask, tomorrow's mood, will I leave it to chance, or will I help it with 10 minutes of dawn? No one else will hear that answer, but if you choose to try, dawn will quietly stand on your side, like an old friend asking only that you open the curtains. If gentle morning light can softly lift our mood, what happens when the inner clock drifts away from the outer sun? When morning no longer feels as kind as it once did? Is it only because we've slept less? Or is it an early knock from the heart? Blood sugar, blood vessels. Let yourself ease into this story, not to be frightened, but to better understand the signals your body sends, often very politely, very softly, before it is forced to ring the loud bells. Inside us, there is not just one clock. There is the central one in the hypothalamus, the sun in the brain that listens to light and dark. And there are countless peripheral clocks in the liver, pancreas, fat tissue, muscles, blood vessels, heart, kidneys. When they are in step, each day is a coordinated shift. Morning alertness, midday energy handling, evening wind down, night repair. When they fall out of phase, the drift shows not only as fatigue, but also as quiet numbers on test results. When the sun in the brain no longer matches the light outside, when we regularly stay up late under screen glow, eat late, take long midday catch-up naps, live behind closed curtains, or work night shifts for many years, the central clock sends out mixed signals. It says, it's still daytime, stay awake, while outside it is already dark. Or the opposite, morning has come, but it is not ready, because the night was never truly dark. The peripheral clocks become confused. The pancreas secretes insulin when it isn't needed. The liver processes sugar and fat at the wrong times. Blood vessels don't get their nighttime relaxation. Blood pressure doesn't drop. The heart never truly rests. For the young, the body still has enough elasticity to buffer some of the consequences. Bad numbers don't show up right away, but for those from 45 to 90, whose every organ has already served for decades, small misalignments, if repeated, can bend the curves in dangerous directions. When nighttime blood pressure doesn't fall properly, over time vessel walls stiffen. The heart must pump against higher resistance. When blood sugar no longer follows a proper day-night rhythm, the pancreas is forced to secrete more insulin, until one day it becomes tired. Cells grow less sensitive, and diabetes forms step by step. When the liver isn't given priority repair time, fat accumulates in the wrong places. When the brain doesn't receive enough cleanup cycles, mood and cognition wobble. It all begins not with a thunderous stroke, but with mornings when you no longer feel as clear as before. Do you recognize that feeling? Waking up when nothing truly awful has happened, yet finding it hard to take a deep breath, sensing a mild heat in the head, a heaviness in the legs, a reluctance to start. You may assume that's just getting old, partly true, but sometimes it is also the draft report from a misaligned clock. The body is trying to speak in a very gentle language. Our schedule no longer fits the sun. Blood vessels, blood sugar, heart, and brain are working overtime. The key point is, circadian rhythm is not only about sleeping enough or not enough. It is about timing. If you often eat very late, the body receives the signal. Energy comes at night. Prioritize storage. Visceral fat quietly increases. If you avoid morning light and only truly wake up at noon, the central clock is delayed. and the peripheral clocks lag with it. If you lie in screen light right up until you close your eyes, melatonin is pushed back. Deep sleep shortens. Nighttime blood pressure doesn't fall sufficiently, not in a day or two, but after many years. The rates of hypertension, diabetes, obesity, stroke in those living out of sync are higher, not by coincidence. This is not to condemn the nights we had to stay up for work, for children, for worries. Who hasn't had stretches in life where sacrifice was unavoidable? But at this moment, as you are listening to these words, you've likely passed those all-out sprinting years. Now the question becomes, are you still living as if you were 20, while your body has entered a stage that needs to be treated as a delicate structure, needing a clearer schedule? Or are you letting old habits keep pulling your clock further off, then feeling surprised when your routine checkup results grow worse? There is something deeply humane in circadian science. It gives us the chance to adjust before it's too late. You cannot change your genes, cannot erase the years lived, but you can reset the rhythm of the next 24 hours. A new rhythm won't erase all risks, but it softens some of the bad pulls, like turning a ship's wheel just a few degrees, and after many miles, its course is different. In reality, the early signs of a misaligned clock are very ordinary, often waking in the night without knowing why. No appetite in the morning, ravenous at noon, sluggish in the afternoon, suddenly alert at night, sleepy when you shouldn't sleep, wide awake when you should. Coffee no longer enough, you add sugar, sweets. The lower belly growing rounder, though you eat like before. The doctor says blood pressure is creeping up, blood sugar a bit high, blood lipids a bit off. All those are little bits, if you look at them together, tell one shared story. The orchestra inside is clashing with the sun outside. This does not mean you must live ascetically. Wake at 5 a.m. every day, eat perfectly like a textbook. What is being invited here, especially for those 45-90 listening to this, before sleep, is a new attitude towards small signals. Instead of ignoring them and only reacting when a big event hits, we can ask, could it be that my body has already been warning me by making mornings heavier, sleep less deep, mood more grey? And is there something gentle I can do before medications have to take the stage? Gentle means gradually moving dinner earlier, so the body has a gap before sleep, limiting evening alcohol if possible, or reducing its frequency, reducing blue light before bed, so real darkness has a chance. Keeping a relatively stable wake time so the sun in the brain doesn't lose track of the real sun. And importantly, creating a small morning moment. Light, water, a few breaths, a light movement, not a harsh workout, but a greeting to your vascular and metabolic system. Today, I'm not fighting you. In the US, many older adults carry stories of night shifts, multiple jobs, changing time zones, years in a fast-paced culture that sidelines sleep. You may be one of them, precisely because you've lived through long periods without choice. The years that remain deserve a rhythm that does less damage. Resetting the circadian clock is not about living as long as possible at any cost, but about making the years you do have less dependent on hospitals, medications, and others' care. In this slow evening voice, I'd like you to try seeing your inner clock as a well-meaning friend. It doesn't punish you. It simply signals, if you keep forcing me to run against the sun, I must adjust the body accordingly. And those adjustments are called fat storage, high blood pressure, disordered sugar, inflamed vessels. But if from tomorrow you give me clear mornings, real nights, steady rhythm, I will work with you, easing the burden on heart, liver, pancreas, Self-development at this age, in a way, is learning not to ignore those whispers anymore. No longer playing the hero who doesn't need sleep, doesn't need rest, doesn't need to listen, but becoming a responsible owner who hears small alarms, so big, emergencies are less likely. That is a quiet, dignified form of maturity, choosing to care for yourself so you do not become a heavy burden too soon. Choosing to reset your rhythm so you can savor ordinary mornings with a lighter heart. Before closing your eyes tonight, you might gently ask, do my recent mornings still feel as wholesome as they once did? If not, is it only age? Or is my inner clock trying to say something? No need to answer now. Let the question rest there, among slow breaths, in the thickening dark. If tomorrow you wake and remember it even a bit, perhaps that is when you start turning your clock hands a little closer to the real sun. Just a few degrees, but over the remaining distance, those degrees may mark the difference between a silent slide downward and a slow, steady path where each dawn returns as a gentle confirmation. You are still walking with your body, not against it. So, if those offbeat signals truly are early reminders, what exactly can we do starting tomorrow without overturning our whole life? There is a very gentle way. Instead of trying to reinvent yourself completely, you only need to adjust a few small details of your morning. With just the first few minutes of the day, can you nudge the biological clock for the next 10 years? Let's slowly walk together through an ideal morning for ages 45-90. Not a glossy fantasy, but a doable one in real life, in the house, apartment, nursing home, or American neighborhood where you live. No complex yoga, no slogans, no change your life today. Just small actions that tell your brain and body, we are on the same side. First, perhaps more important than you think, a relatively stable wake-up window. You don't need to pick anyone else's hour, and you don't need to force yourself to wake too early if your body isn't ready. But once you pick a range, try to keep it. Maybe 6:37 or 7:30 a.m. A 15-20 minute swing is fine, but instead of 9 a.m. one day, 5 a.m. another, noon the next. Give your brain a steady beat. The master clock in the hypothalamus loves repetition. It relies on it to schedule hormones, body temperature, blood pressure, heart rate. When you keep a fairly consistent wake time, the body gradually knows when to switch on without being startled. Then, as soon as you open your eyes, give yourself a few slow breaths before sitting up. Maybe one foot aches, your back is stiff, your head heavy. Instead of springing up, stay with your body for a few seconds. Feel the mattress under you, the blanket on your skin, the sound of your breathing. This is not professional meditation, just a way to tell your nervous system, no alarm. We have time. These moments help your cardiovascular system move safely from lying to sitting, from sitting to standing, reducing those brief dizzy drops in older adults. Next comes a simple yet very scientific ritual. Bring in natural light. If the room has a window, open the curtains. If you can open a door, do it. If it's cold outside, just stand inside and look out. Light is the strongest cue for the sun in the brain to sync with the sun outside. About 5-10 minutes at the start of the day, looking at the sky, whether blue, grey, or faint, helps suppress leftover melatonin, lets morning cortisol play its right role, and aligns peripheral clocks. You don't have to do anything, just keep your eyes open and let light find you. After that, drink water, a glass of warm or plain water without rushing. Over the night, the body loses water through breathing. Blood becomes a bit thicker. For those with vascular risks, some water in the morning is like smoothing the flow. You can see it as a thank you to your heart, kidneys, brain. No need for elaborate detox, lemon honey water, or miracle powders. Just honest, sufficient water. Then add a few gentle movements. Not a high-intensity workout, only enough to let your joints know the day has begun. Lightly circle ankles and wrists, tilt your head side to side, stretch your back. If possible, take a few steps around the room, toward the window or porch. For older adults, these small movements help blood circulation and wake up the vestibular system, lowering fall risk. For the circadian clock, they confirm, we are in daytime mode now. There is movement, there is energy demand, and here is something you've heard many times. But in this context, it has new weight. Don't grab your phone immediately, not because the phone is purely evil, but because if screen, news, email, social media are the very first things flooding in, you've handed the key to your mental doorway to randomness. The nervous system, just leaving sleep, is easily pushed straight into vigilance, comparison, worry. Instead, let the first minutes belong to you and your body. Light, water, movement, breath. Then, if needed, check your phone later. By then, your brain has a more stable biological base and is less easily swept away. Each small step in this ritual has a scientific reason. Consistent wake time helps the circadian clock anticipate, harmonizing cortisol, melatonin, body temperature. Natural light helps the brain clearly separate day and night, lowering depression risk and improving upcoming sleep. Water supports circulation, blood pressure, brain function. Gentle movement smooths circulation and helps the autonomic nervous system shift states softly. Delaying the phone reduces stress activation, keeping serotonin and dopamine within natural bounds instead of being jerked up then crashed. To you, these may sound so simple they can't possibly change much, but remember, many big things in life are built from small habits repeated over years. If each morning is a vote for your health 5 or 10 years from now, which side is your morning ritual voting for? The side of clarity, stability, rhythm, or the side of misalignment, fatigue, dependence on meds, caffeine, sugar? The lovely part is, you don't have to be perfect to start voting well. You can pick just one element to practice first. For example, this week, simply practice not touching your phone for the first 10 minutes after waking. Next week, add drawing the curtains for light. Then gradually you notice morning thirst and naturally add water. The inner orchestra likes changes like that. Slow, steady, respectful. For those already taking blood pressure meds, diabetes meds, heart meds, these rituals do not replace them, but create a foundation that helps the medications work properly. When your circadian clock is stable, doctors can adjust treatment more easily, and your body responds more smoothly. You can see it as cooperating with the team that protects you, not just taking pills as prescribed. If you live with a partner or family, the morning ritual can also become a warm shared moment. 2 people opening the curtains together, drinking water together, stepping out to the porch. No need for many words. Standing side by side looking at the sky is already a bond. If you live alone, the morning ritual is even more precious. It is how each day you confirm to yourself, I'm still here, still in conversation with life, not swallowed by a screen or darkness. At 45-90, many chapters of chasing, proving, competing are behind you. Now, self-development doesn't have to mean learning 3 more languages, climbing more career steps, running marathons. It can be caring for foundational structures. Sleep, light-dark rhythm. How you wake and how you go to bed, that is a deeper form of maturity. Instead of treating the body as a machine to endure, you see it as a companion that has walked with you for decades, and ask, from here to the end, can I treat you more kindly? Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, you might pre-visualize tomorrow's dawn, not to worry, but to sketch a small scene. You wake within your chosen window, unhurried. You open the curtains so light touches your pillow, your hand. You drink a sip of water. You move gently. You let the phone rest. The whole ritual takes only a few minutes, but each time you repeat it, you are casting a vote for a future with more manageable mornings, steadier memory, gentler blood pressure, more stable mood, and perhaps the most meaningful part is this. In a world where so much is outside our control, the morning ritual is one of the few small territories that remain entirely ours. No budget, no devices needed, only a quiet decision. I will not surrender my body's fate entirely to old habits and randomness. Each morning, I will contribute a little. Before closing your eyes, you might ask yourself, very softly, if dawn is the ballot I cast for the next 10 years, what color do I want it to carry tomorrow? No one grades you, no one checks. But if somewhere inside you choose the gentle color of real light, slow seconds, water, breath, your body will hear it. And day after day, the sun in the brain, the heart, vessels, memory will thank you in the quietest way. With mornings when you rise and suddenly realize you still have enough strength, clarity, and peace to say, good morning. Having spoken about these small dawn rituals, you may now see, we don't have to overturn our entire life. We just need to turn a few moments at the start of the day, and then a natural, very soft question appears. If things this simple can be done, how different could the rest of your life, the years after 45, 60, 80 become? This is where we close the story, not with a hurried goodbye, but with a pause to look back. Understanding dawn is not only about science, hormones, circadian rhythms. Understanding dawn is understanding another layer of meaning in the fact that you still wake up each morning. The sun out there, whether over a quiet coastal town in America, a cold winter city, or a tree-lined suburb, still rises and sets on time. It does not need our belief, nor resent our closed curtains. It simply does its work. But the sun in the brain, the body clock, the hypothalamus, tiny hormones, signals of light and dark, is a story between you and yourself. It can dim, skew, fall out of rhythm when, for many years, we belittle sleep, ignore signals, compress ourselves into rushed habits. It can also brighten again, gentle but clear, if we begin to notice, begin to respect. From a distance, the science of hormones and circadian rhythms looks like lab work, formulas, charts, terminology. But up close in daily life, it becomes another way to talk about kindness toward our own body. When we understand melatonin is not a magic sleep pill but the language of darkness. Morning cortisol is not a monster but an internal wake-up bell. Early light is a greeting for brain and mood. A misaligned clock is an early signal, not a final sentence. Then all those dry concepts turn into a soft mirror. They show how we have treated ourselves all these years. Especially for those 45, 90, listening to these words in the quiet of evening. Understanding dawn is a discreet chance to rewrite the last part of the journey without drama, without theatrics. We all know at this stage, some things will not return. Youth, certain chances, former resilience. We also know there are things we cannot control. Sudden illness, accidents, outside upheaval. And yet, there remains one very durable small realm. How we treat the 24 hours still given to us. To understand dawn is to realize, each time you get to open your eyes, it is not mere habit, but an invitation to decide whether that day will drift further off balance or a little less. Whether you add one more brick to build health for the next 5-10 years, or chip it away, 5 minutes of light, one glass of water, a few breaths, a moment away from screens sound tiny, but to the circadian clock they are a clear statement. I choose to stand on your side. There is a truth many only see very late. The last stretch of life does not have to be a sheer drop. It can be a gentle slope with mornings that hurt less, tire less, with memory that's sufficient, with sleep long enough that the mind is not exhausted, with a few people to call, a few small things to look forward to. The difference is not only luck, it comes from thousands of small decisions we planted earlier into our body, including how we treated dawn. So, when we say rewrite the last chapter of life, it is not illusion. We don't rewrite by denying age or pretending we cannot grow old. We rewrite by refusing to surrender what we can adjust. If we know a steady circadian clock can reduce risks of hypertension, diabetes, mood disorders, cognitive decline, if we know each stable dawn is a vote for a less chaotic body, then from tonight on, perhaps we no longer see sleep and wake habits as trivial. Try picturing yourself in 5 or 10 years. One morning, you open your eyes in a familiar room. Light slips through the curtain at the angle you've come to know. Your body is slower than at 30, but not pulled completely down. You remember clearly where you are, what you'll do. Make tea, check the news, call someone you love. Walk a few laps outside. Your doctor says your blood pressure is stable. Your blood sugar is not too bad. You can still bathe yourself, dress yourself, step out to greet the morning. Those seemingly ordinary things are a great gift to many in old age. Part of that gift may begin on nights like this, when you decide, I won't disrupt my body's rhythm any further if I don't have to. Understanding dawn also reaches a deeper layer, meaning, at some point, we start asking hard questions. How have I lived? How have I treated those I love? What did I chase? What slipped away? These questions can keep us up, turning the night into a courtroom of self-judgment. Yet at this same stage, we can shift perspective, not using the night to punish ourselves, but to prepare for a kinder dawn. We don't need to resolve everything in one night. We only need to acknowledge, I want the rest of my life to be less ignorant of my own body. Circadian science, passing through the human heart, becomes a soft invitation. Don't exhaust yourself for things that can be adjusted. Don't drink 3 more coffees just to fight a sleep schedule you're breaking yourself. Don't underestimate 10 minutes of morning light. Don't let the only downward pull be habits you actually have the power to change. When we grasp this, knowledge is no longer something to boast about. I know more, but a tool to live more gently with ourselves. So, from tonight, how will we treat the dawn of our life differently? Some will start very small, placing the phone farther from the bed, so tomorrow morning it isn't the first thing you grab. Some will try leaving the curtains slightly open, so they wake to a thin line of light instead of sealed darkness. Some will decide to move dinner earlier, drink less alcohol, to give the body a real night. Some will choose 5 extra minutes sitting upright, breathing softly, looking at the sky before starting the day's tasks. Each such choice sounds modest, but to the circadian clock, it is a promise. And if you're thinking, it's too late for me, let me say this very slowly. It is never too late to be kinder to yourself. Even if you already have chronic conditions, take many medications, have spent many nights wrestling with sleep, gentle adjustments in your daily rhythm can still make a difference. Fewer dizzy mornings, fewer headaches, less irritability, less feeling lost. Each clearer dawn is a kind of reassurance that you are not entirely carried away. You don't have to prove any of this to anyone. No need to post it. No need to say, I'm optimizing my circadian rhythm. Just live a little differently, steadily, quietly. When others look at you and say, you seem better lately, you can smile. You know behind that seem better are dozens of mornings you've cherished as appointments with yourself. Tonight, before sleep, if you're willing, let a small question rest in a corner of your mind. Tomorrow, how will I welcome my dawn? Not a question to pressure you, but to remind you that you still have a choice. If tomorrow you end up doing things the old way, that's all right. The question is still there for the next day. What shapes the last stretch of life is not one perfect turn, but the direction you repeat. When we understand dawn, we see. Each day we still wake is a chance to keep writing not only in work, but in how we care for body, nerves, memory, heart. We no longer hand over the entire ending of our life to luck. We help steer it through the smallest signals. And perhaps, one morning, standing by the window, glass of water in hand, light touching your silver hair, you will realize you haven't forgotten the sun in your brain after all. You chose to walk with it, calmly. Now you can let your eyelids grow heavy. Outside, whether in a cold night or a quiet town, the sun is somewhere, waiting for its time. Inside, hormones, cells, tiny body clocks are quietly preparing for the next dawn. Let your body do its work. Your part tonight is simply to agree to rest. The rest of the question, how you will treat your dawn differently, can be answered tomorrow in the soft first light with one very small action. Small, but truly yours. You may close your eyes now. Let your thoughts fade like mist. If your mind still wants to wander, let it continue its journey to the next video, where we go deeper into the mysteries of the soul. And if your body is tired, just let this sound lull you into sleep. There's no need to try, only to breathe. And remember, everything you are looking for is already resting quietly within yourself.